Once upon a time, the world.
This place was once called the Blue Planet because it contained the key ingredient to life,
Water.
From these elements, the others were created from the most basic to the most complex ones, creating a perfect biodiversity. Thus different species of animals, fields, mountains appeared, creating diverse ecosystems in a perfect balance. And amidst all this nature, a singular species appeared,
The human being. This species, like the others, will adapt, learn and evolve to make the world him. First, they group in small settlements, then they begin to cultivate other species, putting them under control, to create families, and best of all, they create money. This new link is introduced in nature, corrupts it, so that it will never be again as it was before.
The excessive consumption of the richest nations depends directly on the exploitation and depletion of natural resources of the impoverished nations, such as tropical countries, rich in flora, fauna and minerals. Until we run out of the last drop of water, of the last wild species, until the last tree is cut. Until then, we will not realize that money cannot be eaten.
We all like to see the blue sky, to breathe clean air when we go out for a walk, see the animals running around the mountains, to bathe a clean natural environment. But what do we do to take care of the environment and for all of this to be still possible?
Dreaming is free, but after all, individual actions are what matters.
People do not recycle, they do not take public transport, they allow garbage bags to go to the water. We still want to have new cheap products, no matter the consequences, or that such items are not renewable and polluting. All of this to make our lives more comfortable.
But do we know what our little actions imply? Leaving the tap open while we wash our teeth or hands, waiting until the water is hot, not caring about using unlimited non-renewable resources, thinking that these resources are not going to end, and using the derivatives to create unnecessary things and to satisfy our consumers, for example, individual containers, no recycling paper, and hence the mass filling of trees, the daily electricity used in household, the way we are never satisfied with the temperature, and we try to change it with harmful air conditioners and heaters, increasing climate change and global warming.
CO2 is a gas present in the atmosphere and it traps to heat there. The more that CO2 increases, the more heat that it traps in the atmosphere and makes the temperature rise. At the current rate, it is expected to have increased a degree by 2020 and 2 degrees by 2050. The excessive loss of resources and raw materials in industrial productions, not to mention the abusive emission of CO2 and other greenhouse gases, attract elements and modify the habitat of other species.
Perhaps it's less important than ours? What would you think if a bear came into your house and deposited all the waste of the salmon that he ate in your bedroom? Or if a cow came to steal the TV? Or better yet, if one chicken took all your supplies from your fridge, leaving the rest of food polluted? I don't think you'd like all these animals to defecate in your home, as we do with them, because, in addition, their home is also ours.
In the oceans, climate change is affecting its temperature, the nutrient supply, the sea currents, the food chain, wind system, cyclones and other natural disasters that have become increasingly common and more intense, just like the melting of the poles due to the soil instability, rock avalanches, and reduced ocean circulation in Greenland and Antarctica. All this affects the distribution, abundance, reproductive cycles of plants and marine animals, which millions of people depend on us as a source of food, income and recreation.
The absorption of carbon dioxide in large amounts could cause the disappearance of phytoplankton, a marine plant which organisms like crustaceans eat. which in turn serves as food for marine species such as humpback or blue whale. And, like this, many other examples that constitute a chain reaction. The water needs much more time than air to warm, even if emissions of greenhouse gases had stabilized in the year 200. The average temperature of the planet will continue rising by half a Celsius degree. The sea level has increased 9 centimeters in 20th century, and it could increase between 9 and 88 centimeters at present.
Finally, we will review the main consequences that our actions bring about. Increased earth temperature.
Change in snow layers, ice, and frozen ground.
Increase in sea level and temperature, causing its acidification and endangering numerous species.
Increased frequency and intensity of extreme weather events.
Danger of extinction of many animal and plant species.
Effects on the agriculture and forestry sectors, which can lose most of their productivity.
Impacts on human health. The number of people in a situation of malnutrition will increase, as well as deaths and illnesses.
How could we imagine that a single species could cause so many imbalances in such a natural and perfect world?